Drake just froze. In a jaw-dropping twist that no one saw coming, Drake has just admitted defeat, not with a diss track, not in an interview, but in a silent, icy gesture that's now being called the ice scene that broke the internet. Captured in chilling HD at an exclusive Toronto lounge, Drake was spotted staring blankly into a glowing cube of ice. Holding a diamond-studded glass, lips sealed, while a Kendrick Lamar verse blasted from the speakers. Witnesses say he didn't flinch. He didn't sip. He didn't even blink. Sources claim this wasn't a party, it was a funeral for his pride. Insiders close to OVO say Drake has finally come to terms with his biggest loss in hip-hop history, not just lyrically, but spiritually. The feud with Kendrick, it's not just over. It's buried under a glacier of regret. But why this moment? Why now? And what does the ice really mean? Because here's the thing, there's more to this ice scene than just symbolism. Way more. And once you find out who was in the room, what Drake said before going silent, what's been leaked since, you'll understand why this may be the coldest surrender hip-hop has ever seen. To understand the ice scene that just stunned the entire hip-hop world, you have to rewind to the beginning of one of the coldest beefs in rap history, a war that's been simmering beneath the surface for over a decade. Drake, Kendrick, Lamar, two titans, two legacies, two different universes colliding in lyrical warfare. It didn't start with diss tracks. It started with subtle shade. Kendrick's infamous Control verse back in 2013, where he name-dropped Drake, among others. While everyone else laughed it off, Drake's smile didn't quite reach his eyes. At the time, he brushed it off as competitive energy, but those close to him said it cut deep. Why? Because Kendrick didn't just mention his name, he challenged his crown. Fast forward to 2017. Kendrick drops Damn, and the world pauses. Word on the street, Drake delayed an entire album rollout just to avoid going head-to-head. That same year, an OVO engineer was caught liking anti-Kendrick tweets deleted within minutes, but screenshots never die. Meanwhile, Kendrick stayed quiet. That eerie, calculating kind of quiet. The kind that signals someone's waiting for the perfect kill shot. Then came 2024, the year the Cold War turned nuclear. Drake dropped subtle bars on For All the Dogs that fans instantly decoded as shots at Kendrick. Phrases like small man with a loud bark and silent rivals with hidden hands were interpreted as subliminal jabs. OVO affiliates liked the comments. Kendrick fans clapped back. The internet went wild, and then Kendrick snapped in a surprise guest verse on Baby Kim's single C4. Kendrick delivered a surgical verbal dissection that left Drake's credibility bleeding. Oh no. Names, just venom. They build you up on streams. I built my kingdom on screams. You perform for charts, I perform for dreams. It wasn't just lyrical, it was spiritual. Kendrick was questioning everything Drake stands for: his fame, his authenticity, his throne. Drake responded the only way he knows how. Production leaks, Insta stories, cryptic captions, and industry whispers. But behind closed doors, something was shifting. Sources from within OVO began whispering that Drake was drained, that he wasn't sleeping, that he was obsessed with controlling the narrative. His team allegedly scrubbed dozens of lyrics, canceled multiple rollouts, and even delayed business deals just to avoid feeding Kendrick's fire. But the final blow? It wasn't a verse. It wasn't a freestyle. It was an ice cube. The infamous ice scene happened during a private party in Toronto's exclusive White Lotus lounge. No press, no photos allowed. Just insiders, artists, and whispers. But one clip leaked Drake in a fur-lined jacket, seated under a glowing chandelier, his glass in hand, staring into a crystal-clear ice cube for over 90 seconds silent as Kendrick's C4 verse played on loop. No reactions, no head nod, no smirk, just stillness. Cold, uncomfortable, defeated stillness. A video posted by an anonymous server captured the moment and posted a blurred clip with the caption, "Drake, been quiet ever since K-Dot snapped. But this look says it all." The internet exploded. Fans dubbed it the ice scene the moment the unspoken war reached its emotional peak. And depending on who you ask, it was either a symbol of Drake's quiet surrender, a genius PR move to control the narrative, or a spiritual Frieza moment where Drake saw his entire reign reflected in that cube. Melting. And trust me, what happened after this moment gets even colder. Because once that video hit the net, it wasn't just fans who reacted. J. Cole, Rick Ross, and even Jay-Z allegedly made private calls. Kendrick, he responded too. Not in the way you'd expect. Because this ice scene didn't end the war, it transformed it. And in the next part, we break down what Drake did next, the twist that took the entire hip-hop industry by storm. The ice scene wasn't just symbolic, it was the trigger. What came next wasn't peace. It was the eruption of a hip-hop civil war, and at the center of it all was Drake, doing something he's never done before, conceding and retaliating silently. The morning after the ice scene clip leaked, social media exploded with one word: finished. Kendrick fans flooded timelines with memes of ice cubes, frozen crowns, and clips of Drake in still shots with captions like, "When the beat drops, but your spirit doesn't." Kendrick froze the sixth god into silence. It's giving Elsa energy. But the laughter turned to stunned silence when less than 24 hours later, Drake cleared his Instagram feed. All of it gone. No posts, no album covers, no OVO promotions. Just one cryptic story. You win, now what? Fans were shook. Did Drake just tap out? Or was this the start of a new chapter? Because right after that post, OVO insiders leaked a name to the press, a project. Title: something that hadn't been announced. Something cold. Glacier mode. Boom. Drake had reportedly been secretly recording a final, icy body of work, a project not aimed to destroy Kendrick lyrically, but to bury the game emotionally. The concept: a moody, haunting, stripped-back confessional piece where Drake admits defeat, but pulls everyone else down with him. A sonic funeral, one of the leaked track titles. The crown was heavy anyway. Another? TDE kept receipts, but before the album could even drop, an even wilder twist hit the headlines. A Toronto jeweler leaked security footage showing Drake returning a custom $1.2 million diamond owl pendant, and not just returning it, slamming it on the glass counter and walking away. He didn't speak. He didn't take a refund. He just left. The owner said Drake whispered, "Don't need symbols if the kingdom's gone." Bro. This wasn't music beef anymore. This was existential warfare. Drake wasn't battling Kendrick. He was battling his own legacy. And while the internet processed the meltdown, Kendrick was spotted in Los Angeles filming something. At first, fans thought it was a music video, but then a drone leak showed him walking through a soundstage replica of a frozen Toronto skyline. He was wearing a fur jacket, holding a microphone frozen in a block of ice, and laughing. The scene, a music video titled "Melt the Throne." Was it satire? Symbolism? The final chapter? Insiders close to TDE said Kendrick was preparing a visual eulogy for Drake's dominance. But unboom. Another twist, a ghostwriter formerly affiliated with OVO dropped a bombshell tweet. Drake been writing apology verses for Kendrick. For Push, for even Meek. Y'all ain't ready for the album that's coming. Fans demanded receipts, so he posted a blurred screenshot. A verse allegedly written by Drake containing the line, Maybe I was the villain this whole time. Purr. All that money just bought silence, not peace of mind. Now everyone was spiraling. Reddit threads titled "Drake is having a full-blown ego breakdown" went viral. Podcasts released emergency episodes with titles like "Did Kendrick Spiritually Assassinate Drake?" "Glacier Mode equals rap retirement." Was the ice scene a cry for help? Meanwhile, Kendrick's team went fully silent. No statements, no leaks. Just a countdown timer on PG Lang's homepage that read 0 hours, 5 minutes, and 17 seconds. 5 days. 17 hours, 8 minutes. What was coming? Speculation was wild. Some said it was a diss film. Others believed it was a dual-album collab, Kendrick's way of finishing the war with art instead of fire. And then, another CURVEBALL, an unverified X account called @IceFiles, real leaked. Screenshots of an alleged group chat between Drake, J. Cole, and Future. In one message, Drake writes, "Let the kid have his moment. I've seen what he's become, but I ain't done. Not yet." But what does that even mean? Is Drake resurrecting himself after the meltdown? Or is he spiraling deeper into the ice era? Because while Kendrick was building legacy, Drake was dismantling his in real time. And at the center of it all, a 90-second video of a man staring into ice. The coldest war in hip-hop history is no longer about bars. It's about identity, legacy, and survival. And what's about to drop in the next chapter might just be the end of an era. End of an era. Buckle up, because the next move in this icy chess match left the entire music industry frozen. Just when fans thought Drake was spiraling into self-imposed exile, he flipped the board and made a move no one could have predicted. He bought the unreleased footage from Kendrick Lamar's Melt the Throne video shoot. Yeah, you've read that right. According to 3 separate insider leaks, one from a PG Lang production assistant, one from a Toronto video licensing rep, and one anonymous email chain, Drake's media team allegedly paid a 6-figure sum to license and suppress the final cut of Kendrick's cold-blooded music video before it ever dropped. And you won't believe how he did it. Through a shell company based in Switzerland, registered under the name DI Holdings. No less, Drake's legal team reportedly bought out a key distribution clause in the contract between PG Lang and the production house. The clause gave them the ability to delay or cancel the public release of the visual under creative reconsideration. Translation: Drake cut a silent check so no one would ever see Kendrick's planned victory lap. And Kendrick? He didn't say a word. But fans knew. And the hashtags started flying. Hashtag Drake censored Kendrick. Hashtag let the throne melt. Hashtag coward mode engaged. But it didn't end there. Just 48 hours later, Kendrick posted 4 ice cubes on his IG story. No caption. No music. Just cubes. Fans immediately decoded it as a shot at Drake. 4 cubes equals 4 attempts. Control, damn, C4, melt the throne. He iced Drake out, and Drake couldn't take it. And in response, Drake finally spoke, but not on Instagram. Not in a song. He went live on Twitch, playing NBA 2K under the handle @Glacier6God. Drake casually addressed 400,000 viewers while cooking opponents on the court. At one point, after someone dropped "Kendrick cooked you" in the chat, Drake paused and said, "Let me tell y'all something? I don't lose sleep over verses. I lose sleep over betrayal. And this game turned on me first." The internet froze. That one line, "this game turned on me first," lit up every podcast in hip-hop culture. It wasn't just about Kendrick anymore. It was about trust, power, control. The very next day, Kendrick's countdown ended, and what dropped wasn't a music video. It was a documentary. The Quiet Throne, a 14-minute short film. Posted to YouTube by PG Lang, narrated by none other than Trey Sen10. The video didn't name Drake directly, but it showed a hooded figure walking through empty arenas, discarded chains, and frozen microphones on Dre's narration. Some kings build castles, others build illusions. But when winter comes, you find out who really prepared for the cold. The visual ended with a whisper. Legacy ain't what you say. It's what they remember after the silence. And that silence. It's shattered. Rick Ross reposted the doc with the caption, "Might be the cleanest kill I've ever seen. Respect," Lil Baby tweeted, then deleted. This how you end a saga. Even Drake's longtime producer, 40, liked to post saying, "Maybe it's time for the sixth god to rest." Then came the final BOMB, an unreleased Kendrick verse leaked allegedly recorded a week after the ice scene. In it, he raps, "Don't need a Grammy, already got his soul, watched him freeze in front of fame. Now that body cold. Bro, what?" The leak dropped right as Drake's OVO camp teased an emergency project. Scheduled for midnight, what fans assumed would be Glacier mode, but instead, the upload failed. For 3 hours, then 6, then 10 not rumors swirled of distribution blocks. Last-minute redactions, even Drake himself pulling the plug at the final hour. Was it fear? Was it strategy? Or was it surrender? And in the middle of this collapse, Spotify updated their global hip-hop rankings. Kendrick Lamar, number 1. Drake, number 4. The throne had shifted, quietly, icy, permanently. We don't know, but what we do know is this. The war isn't over, because while Kendrick walks off into legend, Drake is still in the shadows, plotting, freezing, melting, and maybe readying the most dangerous response hip-hop has ever seen. The fallout from Drake's ice surrender and Kendrick's silent demolition didn't just shake the hip-hop world, split it straight down the middle. From Twitter threads to TikTok remixes, industry insiders to Grammy-winning legends, everyone had something to say. Let's start with the public. The comment sections across every platform looked like a war zone. Drake turned a diss battle into a Shakespearean tragedy. Kendrick killed him without a gun, just with a verse and a vibe. Drake ain't the villain. He's the victim of his own empire. This ain't beef. It's art. Kendrick turned the mic into a paintbrush. Y'all cheering Kendrick like he didn't just destroy a man's legacy for sport. TikTok exploded with reenactments of the ice scene. Fake dramatizations of Drake whispering, "You win," into his cup. And sped-up edits of Kendrick walking through fog as Andre 3000's voice echoes in the background. And then came the remixes, thousands of them. Mashups of Kendrick's leaked verse and Says Kill Bill were trending. AI-generated Drake confessionals over piano loops went viral. One TikToker dubbed it the softest defeat in rap history and the hardest to watch. But this wasn't just fans clowning around. The industry weighed in and lines were drawn. Pusha T, Drake's longtime nemesis, tweeted, "Poetry greater than PR. Bars greater than billboards." The Game said on a live stream, if Drake was a boxer, that ice scene was his towel throw. Kendrick's foot was already on his neck. Joe Budden, on his podcast, called it the most artistic humiliation I've seen in modern music. Drake ain't wash, but he's wet, soaked in regret. But not everyone was celebrating Kendrick. DJ Akenix, one of Drake's biggest defenders, lost his mind on Twitch. "Y'all acting like this dude just solved world peace. Drake built an empire for a decade and y'all switched sides over." An Ice Cube. Nicki Minaj liked a fan tweet that said, "Legends get tired too. Let Drake rest without dragging his crown through the dirt." French Montana chimed in, "They forget fast out here. Don't sleep on the bounce back." And guess who else joined the conversation? J. Cole. In a cryptic IG story, Cole posted a photo of his mic in a freezer with the caption, "Be careful how you freeze the kingdom. The ice cracks." Fans went wild. Was it a warning? A tease? A neutral stance? Nobody knew. But it added gasoline to a fire that wasn't dying down. Meanwhile, news outlets jumped on the cultural moment. Rolling Stone, Drake, and Kendrick's Cold War just got literal and historic. Complex, the fall of the sixth god. VIBE, Drake's glacier mode, performance art, or personal collapse. On Reddit, the top post in our Hippoped simply read, "This ain't beef. This is legacy surgery." And deep in those threads, fans began questioning everything. Was Drake always fragile under the surface? Did Kendrick just expose what Jay and Nas never could? Is this the beginning of Drake's redemption or his retirement? Even non-hip-hop celebrities chimed in. Jordan Peele tweeted, "If I made a movie about this, y'all wouldn't believe it." Dar Disrespect mocked the ice scene midstream. "Even my KD ratio's higher than Drake's temperature, right?" Now, but then, out of nowhere, Drake's dad, Dennis Graham, posted on Facebook, "My son ain't done." Don't believe the silence sits the eye of the storm. And the OVO fanbase. They activated #glacier mode is coming number 6. God resurrected #Drake, AIN single quotes. T done Drake's Reddit. Army even launched a campaign to unfreeze the throne, asking fans to flood Spotify and YouTube with old Drake classics headlines. Tuscan Leather, back to back, has a show of support. And it worked. Drake's streaming numbers spiked by 22% in 48 hours. He may have been silent, but his music, still charting. So now, the question is, was this Drake's quiet downfall, or his greatest setup yet? Will Kendrick respond again, or has he already won by walking away? And what does it mean for the next generation of rappers watching this unfold like a live Shakespearean play? On Instagram, because one thing's for sure, everyone's watching. And the temperature in hip-hop is still dropping. Just when the world declared Drake frozen and finished, he pulled the coldest move yet, a silent resurrection, backed by an unexpected, and dangerous new ally. You're not ready for this? While fans argued online and Kendrick's documentary gathered millions of views, Drake vanished. No IG stories, no tweets, no Twitch stream. OVO insiders started whispering. He was out of the country. But where? Turns out, he was in Iceland. And no, this ain't a metaphor. He was literally recording in a glacier cave surrounded by ice, candles, and a single microphone. A leaked drone shot showed him deep inside the Lanchkal Glacier. Hood up, arms folded, staring into the dark. Beside him, a figure that made fans lose their minds, Kanye West. Boom, 2 years after the biggest fallout in hip-hop bromance history. Drake and the were back together, not on stage, not for show, but in secret, plotting a revenge project that could rewrite everything. Insiders are calling it Frozen Thrones, a dual-concept album built entirely around betrayal, legacy, and silence. But here's where the plot thickens. A leaked track list from an Iceland studio showed working titles like When Loyalty Melts, N95.6. A twisted nod to Kendrick's N95 Cold Facts Foot, Travis Scott and Future. Death by Verse 1 tracks Simply. Titled Untitled 6 had a feature note next to it. TS, pending clearance. TS as in Taylor Swift. If Drake somehow gets the Queen of Retribution to co-sign this project, it's no longer a rap battle, it's a cultural ambush. And guess who else just followed Kanye, Drake, and Future on Instagram? J. Cole. The man who's remained neutral throughout the entire war just stepped into the middle of the coldest alliance hip-hop's ever seen. Drake is done playing defense. This isn't about bars anymore. This is about legacy warfare and the cliffhanger. A countdown just appeared on Drake's OVO site. No title, no images, just one frozen timer and a whispering. Audio loop, you thought it was over. But I never melt under pressure. What's dropping? A diss, an album, a film. Nobody knows. But we do know this. The ice scene wasn't Drake's surrender. It was his transformation. And now, the whole industry better prepare for the revenge of the sixth god. Because when he returns, it won't be with fire. It'll be with ice in his veins and a knife in his verses. This isn't just a beef. This is the greatest hip-hop story of our generation. So now we ask you, was Drake's ice scene a meltdown or a masterpiece in disguise? Did Kendrick end an era or wake up a monster? Drop your take in the comments right now. We want to hear everything. Who's winning? Who's plotting? And who's next to fall? Are you #Team Kendrick - waving the flag for lyrical dominance, silence as violence, and cold precision? Or are you riding with #Glacier Mode Drake's silent storm of legacy, power, and emotional wreckage waiting to erupt? And what about the Cole, Travis, even Taylor? Are we witnessing the birth of the most savage hip-hop alliance of all time? Sound off. The top comments will get pinned. We want smoke. Let the debates begin. Versus, if this war's got your heart racing and your mind spinning, slam that like button like it's a mic drop from the sky. And don't forget to subscribe, because what's coming next? It's bigger, it's colder, and it might just end someone's career forever. Turn on notifications, because this story's not done. And when the next bomb drops, Sewell want to be here first, because on this channel, we don't cover drama. We start. The aftershocks, see you in the next chapter, if the mic survives it.